Welcome, everybody, to another episode of KDM. K standing for Kit. To my left. Hi, Kit, my good friend and colleague. Haven't seen you in a bit. We
I
haven't done this in a
know.
bit. Hi, Kit, how
No.
are
It's been a
you?
hot minute, but we're back. We're
Been a
back.
hot minute. The D standing for dummy. I mean Dimitri. I'm right here. And the M standing for movies. And that's what we do. We get together, we talk movies. And today, Kit, we get to go to the grid.
Yeah, we
And
do.
we are going to talk Tron Ares. So, as always, I like to throw it to you, ladies first,
Okay.
and then we'll go in. Oh, and folks, just know, spoiler alert, we'll be talking spoilers, and for the sake of the conversation, going to try to make this a little bit of a comprehensive Tron episode so that you understand some of the pieces of the puzzle. This is the third of a franchise that started in 1982, which is kind of crazy when you think about it, that movies have been separated and spread apart for such a long time.
Yeah.
1982, the first Tron movie came out. So, going to try to backfill some things in because it's very important for Tron Ares in any case, and as to whether or not, this series is going to continue to move forward. And yeah, so we're going to, I'm going to talk a little bit Easter eggish and talk about and just try to backfill to make Tron Ares to backfill the story of Tron Ares. So there you go. Now you know. And if you haven't seen Tron Ares yet, you may want to press pause, go see it, come back, and you may figure some things out or learn some things from our discussion that might make you go, huh, and may make you want to go back, which I think they're on Disney Plus. If you didn't cancel, and if you did cancel, maybe you resubscribed. That I believe the first two, Tron and Tron Legacy, are on Disney Plus. You can rewatch, and you'll see
Actually, you
some
know what?
things.
I think you should start it because I think might know more about the whole overall arc of it better than I do because I can't remember a whole lot about.
I'll get into it, but I mean I can, but we'll have that discussion in a little in a little. I don't want to get into that. Let's talk Tron Ares, and then we'll talk about how it falls into science fiction as well, because it basically falls into a lot of science fiction popular
Well,
tropes that are used in science
I do
fiction.
know that Disney was sort of on the besides Star Wars and stuff. I mean, they kind of had the first sort of sci-fi thing, the black hole. I think that came out before. Can't remember Star Wars.
The black hole, well, too bad. If only we had some sort of device that we can quickly look things up.
Uh,
So go
yeah.
ahead. And
Anyway,
in the
anyway,
meantime,
so I mean, certainly Tron was kind of when it came out in 1982, I believe. Um,
you are correct, Kit. The black
was
hole came out in 1979,
yeah, and Star Wars was
77.
okay. All right, so Star Wars sort of started it, and then they did Black Hole, and then they did Tron. And I know when Tron came out, everybody was just all, loving it and stuff. Visually, it was, exciting. It was like being inside a video game, that kind of stuff. So, I remember watching it. I liked it. I definitely liked it. I love the visuals. But Tron Ares definitely falls into that same, kind of groove as far as the visuals. Yeah, I saw it on IMAX. It was pretty spectacular to watch. Thought it was very
Yeah,
cool. All the different, because now I think in Ares, I think it's the first time where the AI or whatever it is that is created in the grid world
the
comes to the real
grid.
world. Yeah,
Yes.
comes to the real world. So we have all of those visuals happening in a real city kind of thing. So you've got the bikes and the long, the wall thing the light wall that it creates and things running
The
into
light
it. And
cycles. Yeah.
yeah. So kind of destruction of a city situation. So that was kind of cool. Naturally that was very cool to watch. The story itself was okay, I mean, it definitely catches you up to what's happening, and the basic premise is that there are two sort of competing mega tech companies, one run by the one that was sort of started by Kevin Flynn, the Jeff Bridges character from the original, and Com, and it's been passed through in Legacy, Tron Legacy. It was Garrett Hedlund who took over the company, and can't remember exactly what happens in that movie either. I didn't really like that one as much. I like this one better than Tron Legacy. Let me just say that out loud. Um, and now it's being run by a pair of sisters, Eve Kim, played by Greta Lee, who I think is infinitely watchable. I just love. She's just a very interesting actress to me. So
Same
she
here.
sort of have taken on the reins of this company, and kept the original vision of Kevin Flynn's uh, what he wanted to do with the company. And then you've got the competing company, which is the Dillinger company that was originally created by I can't remember the actor's name from the first Tron, who's the bad guy.
David
Um,
Warner.
there we go, David Warner. His grandson, played by Evan Peters, who's kind of now the megalomaniac. We've got all of these young tech guys who are coming on on the screen, because even Alien Earth, I don't know if you had a chance to watch that show, but there's sort of a
Uh-huh. Yep.
billionaire kid type, so all these Elon Musk's types are coming up as being the villains in all these movies. So anyway, I thought that was funny. But the premise is that Evan Peters is trying to bring his online, his grid people to, as weapons, basically, as soldiers, whatnot, that could possibly be used in war. And Jared Leto plays his main guy, his master control Ares. But always the case, in this case it actually works to the benefit of mankind, which is that AI constantly learns. And so for Ares's character, he is on the high level of everything. So for him, he starts to feel, and he starts to, empathize, and he starts to not be the evil puppet that Evan Peters' character wants him to be. So, and then the main thing is, how do we keep, because basically they can bring these things to real life, but only for 29 minutes and then they disintegrate.
Right.
So Eve Kim, Greta Lee's character, has finally found what they call the permanence code, which means that these entities, these AIs, could be living in our world indefinitely. So she's looking for that, to try to do that. So yeah, so the story was okay. I mean, I'm not saying that I wasn't like completely, gaga over the film overall, but I definitely enjoyed it, and visually it was spectacular. Um and I enjoyed the performances, and yeah, I mean, I had a good time with it. I think it's a nice, like I said, I think it's a nice sort of third installment in this, and it certainly lends itself at the end to more Tron as
Yeah.
we as we go on. So there's a lot of little Easter, or a lot of Easter eggs, but also the ending. There's an ending coda to the film, so which leads us to believe it's definitely going to keep going on. So anyway, yeah, I had a good time with it. Yeah, like I said, it wasn't, I wasn't over the top about it, but I definitely had fun.
Mm. Yeah, see, now I loved it. I loved it to the extent, well, yeah, yeah, I mean, I guess my biggest complaint is how you make a Tron movie without Tron. So Tron is a security program, and the security program, the programmer was Bruce Boxleitner in the original movie. He's the
Right.
programmer, and Tron was played by Bruce Boxleitner, who also has an appearance
Okay.
in
Right.
Tron Legacy.
Right.
Um, and I was kind of hoping that Tron or Bruce Boxleitner was going to make an appearance here. I found it interesting because Ares is the Tron for Dillinger Corporation. He is the security program that goes to infiltrate all these other corporations and such. So, yeah, no, I liked it. Number one, I guess two in part because Jared Leto wasn't a flat out bad guy.
Right.
And again, some could argue, we've seen this before. We've seen the AI that becomes self-aware and has feelings or whatever. And it's true. It is a tried and true science fiction trope, whether it be in um, literary form
Right.
or big screen form. I think it really worked here very well. And I just thought it was kind of cool to see Jared Leto uh, playing a good guy.
Yeah.
Like we haven't seen this in a while.
Well,
Um,
he's had some missteps. The Morbius thing that just didn't fly at all, unfortunately. And I feel like
yeah,
that kind of sort of dampened his.
thanks for bringing that up again. No,
Yeah.
but yeah, but it was like he looked as if he was actually having a good time
Yes.
making
Yes.
this. And that I haven't seen him do, in a while. And he's been playing a bad guy as he did in Blade Runner, by the way, Blade Runner 2049. Do I have
Yep.
the year of that correct? So, and there are elements of Blade Runner 2049 in this movie, and I'm going to get to that when I do a breakdown of Tron. And again, there are only three movies here to really kind of pay attention to and break down.
Right.
Now, again, I'm going to dispel right off the bat. Some have said, "Oh, the story is very convoluted and blah blah blah," and I'm going to say, "Oh no, it really isn't."
Not
I'll tell
that
you what's
convoluted.
convoluted. It's not that convoluted. I'll tell you what's convoluted. For a 15, 16-year-old boy in 1982 to go and see Tron and not knowing what the hell is really going on. Tron to me is a movie. It's definitely a great definition of a movie that has gotten better with age. Why do
Mm.
I say that? When Tron came out, computers and programming weren't like a thing yet. They were still
Yeah.
in their birthing process.
Yeah.
Hell, the Mac did not come out until 1984.
Right.
Okay. This was 2 years before that. And Tron was really about programmers and the programmers, users and their programs.
Yeah.
And there were computers in a workplace like a bank or whatever, but to understand and what Tron did and what it was like the master control and all that, and security and cyber security, which they
Hmm.
didn't use that word, that was way ahead of its time. And
Right.
I'll also say, too, for me, it's kind of like the first video game movie. Now, the video game of Tron in the early 80s, as you are aware,
Right.
the video game boom, they had arcades, like a Flynn's arcade.
Yeah.
They were packed, packed. Pac-Man being one of those games.
Yes.
Pinball was huge. And you would go in there, and at that time, there was a Tron game. Now,
Right.
was this marketing genius? Because they put the Tron game out, at least this is the way I remember it. The Tron game was in the arcade before the movie came out. So you got to play the game
Right.
to get excited. I got excited to watch the movie, right? So that was kind of cool in 1982 that I'm playing this game. And then when I see the movie, I actually felt like I'm in the game, and it made me want to go back to the arcade to play the game because I felt like I was in the movie and it was using the similar sound effects. It was great. It was great.
Right.
So um, you have Ares who's becoming self-aware, and I couldn't agree with you more about Greta Lee as this Eve Kim. she's kind of mentoring Ares along. Like she sees this in Ares. And there was some really, there was a good dynamic between the two in which he asked her a couple of times, "Can I trust you?" And she's like, "Well, I'll say yes, but you probably can't." Like
Right.
maybe because of his programming or whatever. But at the end of the day, she was his tether to what humanity is, which, and I really kind of like that. And I also love that there was still an NCOM and Dillinger entity.
Right.
So, and you brought it up too. You mentioned the Easter eggs, right?
Yeah.
I did love the nostalgia aspect of this movie. And it was scattered throughout, but my favorite was when Ares gets to go back to Flynn's 80s grid.
Yeah. Yeah. That
And
was cool.
that was so, for
Yeah, they did
me,
that well.
oh my, and
They did that
they did
well,
the
yeah.
same washed out in the face, but the colors,
Yeah.
um, when he's in his light cycle, like that kind of
Yeah.
light cycle, and it had the same sounds. I'm like, when he found the rod and he picked it up, I was just grinning from ear to ear. And again,
Yeah.
do you, IMAX, folks, IMAX, visually and from a sound perspective, it was amazing. It was fantastic. Also, great score from Nine Inch Nails. Atticus and Ross are back, and talk about a score that really adds pulse to what
Right.
is happening on screen. So I love that. So and a bunch of other Easter eggs that I caught that I jotted down. So if you noticed, and not NCOM, if you noticed Dillinger, okay. So Dillinger Corp was basically outlined in red, a lot of red,
Right.
right? In the original Tron, early on in the movie, like towards the beginning of the movie, there is a scene where Ed Dillinger, uh, David Warner, is in a helicopter flying rooftop of NCOM. And you notice the helicopter is outlined in red. So that
Right.
red has always been a theme there. Also, you had mentioned about how Dillinger, the corporation, and Ares, they want to Uber 3D print these 3D. They're
Right.
doing war machines, and NCOM, they're doing orange trees, right?
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
stark difference. However, what you may not remember is uh, the in the original Tron, they're
Right.
actually for the first time they're testing the particle machine, right?
Right.
The first item that they tested on is an orange. So they test that at an orange. So there
Right.
is a, like, to me, that's a cool callback to the original Tron. Um, oh, and then of course the mid-credit sequence that you referenced.
Yes.
Um, we
Well,
have
we had to know
Julian.
what, yeah, because I mean, we had to, I knew that was, I didn't, I think maybe I thought they were going to just leave it like open ended, like, oh, he went into the grid or whatever. But then, yeah, they showed exactly what happened. So, and you saw
Yeah,
that that he was going to, like his granddad's, yeah.
he becomes Sark. He
Yeah, that's
becomes
right.
Sark.
Sark. Right.
Yeah, he becomes Sark. And I'm like, oh my God. Okay, I get, okay, that's fantastic. So, why is all this important? And like, again, obviously, I'm a Tron fan. So, just a little backstory. So, in Tron, the basic story is it's about NCOM, okay?
Yeah.
And Dillinger, Ed Dillinger, is like the vice president CEO of NCOM.
Right.
And he takes his basically, he has the master, the NBC, the NCP. he's infiltrating all other companies around the world using the computer so they
Right.
can gain more and more knowledge and become number one in the world. At Encom, Flynn used to work at Encom. Flynn was probably the hotshot programmer of the
Right.
time, and he had left his computer open. Dillinger stole his plans for Space Paranoids and four other games.
Ah,
Dillinger
okay.
stole them.
Okay.
Okay. Dillinger stole them. He claimed them as his own. He became the hotshot programmer at Encom with a meteoric rise. Flynn gets fired. He becomes the VP, Dillinger, that is. Flynn, in the meantime, keeps on trying to break in or hack in to Encom to find the files because he knows the files are there and it will be
Right.
evidence that he
Right.
invented them.
Right.
And that's when the NCP finds him, uses the particle ray, and a user gets zapped into the grid. He goes to find Tron. Tron, the security system, gets put into the games. He gets put into the NPC. Boom, Dillinger is exposed. And then Flynn becomes the president. There we go. Happy
Right.
ending. Then we go to Legacy. And Legacy is about Sam Flynn, the son of Kevin.
Right.
And Kevin disappears. Sam, throughout the years, trying to figure out, he doesn't want really anything to do with Encom, but he is curious to know what happens to his dad.
Right.
Long story short, ends up on the grid,
Hmm.
finds his father, and his he
That's right.
along with his dad, there's Olivia Wilde's character, whose name is Cora. Now,
Right.
there's something special about Cora. Cora is what they call an ISO. She's an isomorphic logarithm.
Right.
Basically, she's not a basic program. She doesn't. She's a new form of digital life that spontaneously emerged on the grid, and when emerged, is emerges with self-awareness. So she's a unique, special character on the grid, and people are trying to get her. Um,
Yeah.
so that's the now that's the special thing about Cora. And now, if with Ares, now that Ares has become he is not an ISO, he becomes self-aware, becomes to have human
Right.
feelings, and at the end where he goes to explore this stuff, um, there's that great scene where he's in Madrid or Venezuela, and he's talking with Eve, and he's like, "Yeah," he goes, "Yeah, I'm on a quest. I'm looking for some people," and he has a picture of Sam and Cora, and I think it's more important that he finds Cora
Right.
because she's self-aware, and my guess is he wants to try to find some answers about himself, and maybe Cora
Right.
can help. My other guess, and this is a big guess, I don't know anything about anything, but why does Sam mysteriously resign from Encom
Right.
and they go away? I can.
And
I'm
yeah, and
guessing
they
that
kind
maybe
of yeah, and they kind of allude to the fact that that's what Ares is going to try to figure out, right?
yes. And my if I have to guess, Cora becomes pregnant. So
Uh,
we got a little bit of Blade Runner 2049 going on. Maybe I don't know. And then if Sark is out back on the grid, he wants this self-awareness. Who knows what will
right.
happen, but it all ties in to when, and to me, I'm like, oh, this is great. This is such a, like, in
Right.
this movie, they've built this great world. I love that Jeff Bridges is still in it. And he really enjoys this world too. He has said so in many
Right.
interviews, like even back in '82. He says, he was so on board with this. So, yeah, I think that's a main reason I really enjoyed what this movie has to say, even about our technology today. AI is such a big thing. And this really did show,
Yeah.
yeah, AI can be this. And, in the film industry, it can be a benefit or a hazard.
Right.
And as Rick Deckard said, if it's a benefit, it's not my problem. And I like the benefit aspects of it. And I
Yeah.
think people, I like oranges rather than war machines. But the light cycle scene in the real
Yeah.
world is
That was
so good.
fantastic. Yeah.
Oh
That
my
was really, really, like I said, visually, I was like, wow, this is awesome.
God. And
And
for the
even
first,
that horrible, whatever machine they call
the
there's a name for
yeah,
it,
right
right?
now, yeah, it's not the Devastator. Yeah, I can't think
Anyway,
of it right now.
yeah.
Yeah, but you know what's great about the light cycle scenes? Um, where we finally, well, we see, so in the real world, there's the scene where Eve is kind of trapped in the ribbons of light, and
Right.
like we see the solidness or hear the solidness of the light.
Yeah.
And I actually thought that that was kind of cool because we've only ever seen them on the grid. And let's be honest too, right?
Yeah.
We've seen bus shears. We've seen buses get cut in half. Uh, Blue Beetle did it. I think
Yeah.
another superhero movie did it as well. Shang-Chi um, did it. This one, they do a cop car like right down the middle with that
It
ribbon. And I don't know why. I was like, that was the best one yet. It just like
was pretty
those two
cool.
the cops are great.
Pretty
It
cool.
was and the
Yeah.
way like when Eve was on the light cycle trying to figure it out, and she's like, "Whoa, whoa!" It was like it was
Yeah.
awesome,
Yeah.
and that's
No,
why I just
the
like,
action sequences were really they were spot on for sure. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a fun
yeah,
movie, and I think like for you,
yeah,
your 12-year-old self
I'm
or
a kid.
13-year-old self is
Yeah,
like, yeah,
yeah.
and remembering all the greatness that Tron was. So, but yeah, no, it's all good. I would
It
give
was
it
my
a
first.
solid 4. I'd give it a
That's
4.
what I give it. 4 out of 5. I give it a solid 4. Again, like where's
For sheer
Tron?
entertainment value. The story, like I said, I was like, oh, but
Look, I did enjoy the story,
yeah,
but entertainment value. Oh,
yes,
too, the movie's 2 hours, and
yes,
it did not need to be more.
no,
Like it's
no. It could have
fine.
even been a little less, but I was definitely not like looking at my watch.
Yeah, no, and I saw it in IMAX too,
Yeah,
and uh, I learned something about our respective IMAX theaters.
yeah,
By the ways, your IMAX theater, we've been to that one together, and
yeah,
I've been there. It's in Burbank. That's Burbank, California, folks, for people who are watching around the world. Yours is more, the Burbank AMC IMAX is more of a true IMAX screen. It's larger. It has more of what is a true IMAX from the specs. Whereas the AMC Century City, which is where I watched the movie in IMAX, the screen is a bit smaller. However, the theater itself is smaller too, and they put the audience closer to the screen. Does that make sense? So the
well,
perspective is bigger.
The one at
Oh, that's
Universal,
true IMAX.
like
That's
that's with the stadium seating and the that kind of
yeah,
thing. Yeah,
that is like Science Museum
yes,
IMAX at Universal City Walk. That
yeah,
one can show 70 millimeter. Um, that's where we saw Oppenheimer,
yes,
and
yes,
it looks
yeah,
fantastic. But Tron Ares, if you do have the opportunity to see it in IMAX and you can get a ticket for it, I speaking for do it
yeah.
because you will not be disappointed. If you're a Nine Inch Nails fan, do it
Yeah,
because
the
you
music
will
was
not.
good.
Oh
Music was
my
good. It's a good
God.
soundtrack. Yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah.
It is a
And
little loud.
it was loud, but I don't know. It got
Scotty,
me into it.
I was watching Amy Poehler has a really great podcast now called A Good Hang or Good Hang, I think. Anyway, they she was talking with forgot who she was talking with. Oh, I think it was Regina Hall. Anyway, she was
Okay.
saying how IMAX is like it's too loud. I'm old now. It's too loud.
Oh, no.
And I was sitting there last night going, yeah, it's a little loud. But you know, like I said, I'm okay with that. It's all right. If it's not
I
too, you know, if it's not too much, then it's okay. Like
I love it.
Christopher Nolan can do too much for me. Like
And
Oppenheimer was perfect, but what was the one before that? The oh shoot.
Inception, but it
No,
had
no, the one
uh
that came out in COVID.
Tenant. Tenant.
Ugh.
Yeah, yeah.
That was
No,
just annoying because it would be soft. Like when they were talking, it'd be too low, and he'd always talk about music playing, but and then when it was like the action stuff, it was like,
yes.
what? Yeah, that was
Yeah,
not
no,
good.
I took, I'm with you. This one, I said before, this one added a pulse to the grid, to the
Yeah,
to the action scenes, to the light cycle. Like it was great, and I was looking around the theater because it was all encompassing. It was like the
yeah,
stereo
yeah. Everyone seemed to
360
be
degrees.
enjoying it in my theater too. Yeah, for sure.
It was amazing. I don't know if you noticed because if somebody, maybe you know the answer to this question. Um, Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, who are Nine Inch Nails, they each got a producing credit to this movie.
Oh,
And I am unawares of any other composers who've
right,
ever gotten a producing credit to a big budget movie. Now, there
right,
may be some that have gotten a producing credit to a documentary, a music documentary or something, but
right.
to a big budget movie like a Tron, I don't know. And both their names were they got like an executive producer credit to this, which I found very fascinating. I said, "Huh, that's odd." So, anyways, it was kind of cool. Great soundtrack, great visuals. I had a great time. See it in IMAX and
Definitely.
have fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so we'll be returning here again. Hopefully, I'm gonna my travel schedule is winding down. Yay! So definitely
Woo!
we'll be able to do these a little more often. And so stay tuned, like, subscribe, tell your friends, let us know what you
Please.
think about the Tron franchise, obviously, and join us again.
Yes,
Take care.
please. Bye
Bye,
all.
everybody.